And while they still did not believe him, out of joy, which means they were overjoyed, he asked them, do you have anything eat here? They gave him piece of broiled fish and honeycomb. He took it and ate it in their presence, in front of them, to prove what? His spirit, his spook, his ghost, or he's resurrected? Do resurrected bodies eat at all? Do resurrected people in day of judgment, in the day of resurrection, everybody raised up and they look for the broiled fish and honeycomb? No, because the resurrected bodies will be spiritualized. Who say so? Paul say so in your own scriptures. Who say so? Jesus, may peace be upon him, say so in your own scriptures. Where Jesus says that resurrected people will be spiritualized. If you're gonna ask me, the answer is the Jew people, some of the scribes and Pharisees, they always put the obstacle under his feet. And this time they came in to pose another question, to trick him, to prove that he's not Messiah. They ask him, Master, we have a woman which we know that she have 7 husbands. And when they die in day of resurrection, which of them will have her? In the Jew laws, if the oldest brother doesn't have offsprings and he dies, doesn't have a seed, the second brother takes it. If he couldn't achieve it, third one, fourth one, fifth one, sixth one, seventh one. All 7 had her in this life. In day of resurrection, who's gonna have her? And Jesus replied to them, the person after he dies, he will be immortalized. This body is mortal. But in day of judgment, when people are resurrected, they will be immortal. This body, physical body, needs food, drink, sex, rest. In day of resurrection, this body will be spiritualized. It will have a food, drink, sex, rest, but not the one which we know, which we never heard, we never can imagine. It's going to be something else. And our bodies will be immortalized, spiritualized, and we will not die again. Jesus says they're going to be like angels, as the children of the Lord, as the children of the resurrection. They will be like into angels. They will be angelized, spiritualized. One more time. Then 2 told what happened on the way, how Jesus was recognized by them. And when he broke the bread, they were still discussing this. Jesus stood amongst them and said in Hebrew, Shalom alaikum, which is Salam alaikum in Arabic, which means peace be with you. They were startled and frightened because they thought they saw a ghost. And Jesus said to them, why are you troubled? Why doubts rise in your minds? Why do doubts rise in your minds? See my hands and my feet. It is I myself. For the spirit, see, touch me and see. For the spirit has no flesh and bones as you see I have. While he said that to them, he showed them his hands and his feet. And it says in Gospel of Luke, all disciples forsook and fled him. Forsook means touch him, feel him, if he's a real human. All means in your English language, every one of them. It says so in Gospel of Luke. All disciples forsook and fled him, which means they touch him and feel him. Is all means all in your language? While he said that to them, he showed them his hands and his feet. And while they still did not believe, out of joy, which means they were overjoyed, he asked them, do you have anything to eat here? They gave him piece of broiled fish and honeycomb. He took it and ate it in their presence, in front of them. As you can see, he's keep proving to them he's not what they thinking. Because the knowledge of the disciples used to be from hearsay. All the knowledge they had from hearsay. They heard from people that Master was hanged on the cross and was dead and 3 days buried. When you expect a man to be sinking in his grave, he comes up in front of you as alive. It's a natural thing that you will be terrified. That's the only reason why they were terrified. Because they thought they saw a ghost. Did he look like a ghost? You ask these fish catchers, none of them ever gonna say that he looked like a spirit. He looked like a human. They were terrified that they thought they saw a ghost. And Jesus told them, why are you troubled? Why do doubts rise in your minds? See my hands, my feet. As you see my hands and my feet. It is I, myself. Touch me and see, for the spirit has no flesh and bones, as you see I have. While he said that to them, he showed them his hands and his feet. To prove what? He's a spirit, ghost, spook, that he's resurrected. Resurrected bodies will be spiritualized. Because Jesus, may peace be upon him, say so, and your Paul say so. The resurrected bodies will be spiritualized. It's going to be a copy of this body, but not physical, which you can touch. It's going to be a copy of you. Your hands, your face, your nose, everything will be same as it is. But it will be spiritualized. Which means if you see the ghost movies, you see the human being coming into you, and this human being is ghost, and you wanna grab the person, you think it's a person and it's a ghost. You cannot grab it. If he was such a spirit, if he was a resurrected, spiritualized body, how could all disciples could forsook him and fled? That's the question. How all of the disciples could forsook and fled him. There's no way you can forsook and fled the spiritualized body. In day of resurrection, the body of each of us will be spiritualized. Who say so? Paul say so. Who say so? Jesus, may peace be upon him, say so. According to your own scriptures. Every time he say, touch me, see. Touch me, see. He says, look at my hands, my feet. It is I, myself. Touch me and see. For the spirit has no flesh and bones, as you see I have. While he said that to them, he showed them his hands and his feet. And while they still did not believe out of joy, which means they were overjoyed, amazed, he asked them, do you have anything to eat here? And they gave him piece of broiled fish and honeycomb. He took it and ate it in their presence, in front of them, to prove what? That he is not what they thinking, that he is alive, alive, alive. On the next passage, John 20, verses 24 to 29. Now Thomas, also known as Didymus, one of the 12, was not in the room when Jesus came. So other disciples told him, we have seen Master. And he replied to them, unless I see the nail marks in his hands, and I put my fingers where the nails were, and I put my hands into his side, I will not believe. Week later, disciples were in the room again. Thomas was with them. Though doors were locked, and Jesus came and stood amongst them and said in Hebrew, Shalom Alaikum, which is Salam Alaikum in Arabic, which means peace be with you. And he told Thomas, put your hands here. Put your hands